Here we go already. So the third game just started, and as you can see, we have Atlantis spaceship as the map this time. To the bottom left of the map in the red color is our Protoss player for Team StarTale. It is Ace and his opponent starting to the top right of the map. In the blue, our Zerg winning Entombed Valley, losing on Ohana. We have OGS jookTo. Later on, obviously, not only Artosis will be joining me, but also Street Fighter Voice will be back in order to announce the players. For now, I have to do the job, which is a little bit weird in an empty studio. So, yeah, bear with me. Yeah, but in case you didn't know, later on I'll be joined by Artosis. The second set of matches is starting at 6 PM Korean Standard Time, which is actually, let me think about it, 11 AM CET. And yeah, Artosis will be joining me as Wolf is currently still residing in the US. He's still on kind of vacation, visiting his family and friends. And therefore, I'll be joined by Artosis. It's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. It will be pretty cool. And yeah, nothing out of the ordinary happening for jookTo and Atlantis spaceship this time. We have him with the gasless expand. Once again, dropping down the pool. Not waiting around for gas. For an extractor. And what is Ace going to do? He already has a pilot at the low ground and is apparently starting with a Forge first play once again. I don't think we do we have a no, I don't think we really have a drone scout here. Sorry for that. Dropping his expansion at the third base once again. This is basically what he did on Ohana as well, as Ace is doing a pretty good job. Just annoying him. Probably won't drop a pylon here. It's just going to annoy his opponent a little bit longer. But no, not dropping the pylon. Instead, just making sure that he is going for the gateway already next to his forge. And I have to say that I have not seen too many games on Atlantis so far. It looks a little bit... The map itself looks a little bit similar to what the situation that evolved in the mid and late game. On Daybreak, for example, also has the same tile set, and we'll just see if the new maps will be really to the players' likings. We had a couple of new maps introduced last season. Cloud Kingdom comes to mind, for example, which at first a lot of people were skeptical about, but the map turned out to be actually really great, and a lot of players really love it. So the games on this map are always very interesting, and I really hope that Atlantis spaceship and Ohana are evolving into the same direction. That would be kind of brilliant. Overlord just getting some scouting information here in the main base of his opponent. Sees double gas already. Knows at least a bit about what's happening. Pretty early Overlord scout already. Usually the tech structures don't pop that early. So with 4:30 and 4:40, he just gets a bit of a glimpse of the gas. That's basically all that he is getting. More information will be revealed later when he sends in another Overlord from another position. But yeah, at this point in time, there are no tech structures whatsoever. So jookTo on with a drone slide to his third base, and he's well, the third base that he used first, but at this point we have him once again with 3 hatches, so exactly the same kind of style that he used in the last few games. And Ace needs to be careful here. Still, we have the Ace match here, was able to tie the series, but it would be a little bit of an upset for the StarTale player to lose the games now. So yeah, we'll see. Overlord getting into position, and this is actually a pretty nice spot for the Overlord here, getting a lot of information, especially a nice view at the forge, so you will be able to spot if there's going to be some kind of +1 attack upgrade research, and then he can also kind of get an idea of what is happening. Usually as a Zerg you kind of got the timings down as well, so that you know roughly when exactly the +1 attack timing would be finished, so that you know, okay, the forge is still spinning, therefore it's probably just it's probably a +2 attack already. Therefore there's the Twilight Council if you haven't spotted it early already. But now the Overlord to the left side of the map is getting into position once again. We already have one pylon, a bit of 4-gate pressure here apparently coming up for jookTo. And one thing that's really interesting to note is that we haven't seen too many roaches in the last few games for jookTo. The Protoss player is kind of fond of his circling style that he's using. needs to be a bit careful here. That Stalker is doing a ton of damage, and the Harvester count is already at 44 to 36. But yeah, 3 gates have been added. No +1 attack upgrade. And there's going to be some 4-gate pressure immediately. I think he just cancelled the Evolution Chamber, didn't he? And drops a Baneling Nest. jookTo really likes the circling Baneling style, but this is a lot of units that could do a ton of damage and take down the 4th here. He's being caught off guard completely, getting circlings right now. But I think if he focuses on the 3rd would actually die. He's trying to contest his opponent's army. The pilot in a beautiful position. More Zealots are getting warped in. +1 is not done yet, just don't forget about it. And yeah, I'm not quite sure if that is going to work out for jookTo at all. Ace is doing a ton of damage here. Takes down a Queen. Job well done. And jookTo doesn't look too happy at the bottom right of the screen now. So I am not really sure the transition for the Robo for Ace. And just look at all these Zerglings. A ton of Zerglings, but more and more gateway units, especially Zealots, are just being warped in, and the damage that Ace is able to do here is just so significant. He's doing way too much damage, taking down all these things, and he's forcing a ton of drones at the same time. A ton of Zerglings, so even if he's not able to take down the 3rd, that would obviously be the worst case scenario for jookTo right here. But even if this doesn't happen, all these Zerglings that he had to build, will he lose another Queen? He's trying to focus down the hatch, but this time, are there enough Zerglings to take down the Zealots? It kind of looks like it. He lost so many of them already. This is just a horrible scenario for jookTo at this point. But he's still ahead in supply, and he's trying to drone up again. 50 against 45 Harvesters. The Overlord gets taken down, and he saved his 3rd. jookTo saved his 3rd, but he lost a ton of units. 60 units in total. Resources lost are roughly the same. And I have to say that, well, Ace had a little bit of an opportunity here to take down the 3rd base. Something that he missed because he never really tried to completely target it down. Decided to fight his opponent's units, and he forced a lot of them. He really forced a lot of them. So Ace is not looking too shabby here, but jookTo is still on 3 bases. That's the one thing that the Zerg player for old generation StarCraft never lost. His 3rd and the 2nd Queen. The 1st Queen was killed. And Harvester count, did he kill any? No, he actually didn't. Only the scouting probe has been denied by jookTo. That's all that happened in regards to the workers here. But the follow-up for Ace is going to be a pretty difficult one to hold. We already have 12 sentries and the 1st Immortal. So we have an Immortal attack follow-up for Ace, and this is not going to be easy to hold for jookTo because he doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have a lot of stuff that he can throw against his opponent. Usually what we see with this kind of composition is that that the Protoss is playing roaches, facing roaches, is facing roaches, but this time all the sentries moving out. We have the 3 Immortals, or we will have them in a few seconds, that we usually talk about, and this is not gonna be easy to defend against, even with the Infestors that he's getting right now. Losing one of the sentries already. Bit of a misstep here. The Overseer has been killed, and all these sentries will be able to throw down a massive amount of force fields, but the spine crawlers are already done. Let me have a quick look. He could actually just attack the 3rd base. That's something that he could do. There are only 3 of them. Only 3 spine crawlers. That's all that he has right now. But he is going to run right into his opponent's spine crawler setup, and this is pretty cool for jookTo, especially if he's able to get the fungals in position right away, so that not too many of these units are actually attacking. But this army is looking pretty scary. Ace with this army is looking really scary. He's still on 2 bases, and he needs to do some damage now. He definitely needs to do some damage now. Nice fungal, using the first fungal immediately. And just look at all these spine crawlers and the Infestors. There's a flank being set up with a bunch of links to the left side of the map as well. Is Ace going to commit? He's getting into the main base once again with this Warp Prison. Warping in another set of units. Ouch, this could do a lot of damage. Finally being scouted. attacking here, and at the same time he needs to attack at the bottom, but he doesn't do anything, and all these units are being taken down. Nice fungals, and this time we have the army just attacking, getting into position, taking down the first few spine crawlers, but there are too many of them. The second set of lings for jookTo are trying to flank, trying to sandwich the army of Ace, and Ace is not really in a position where he can commit to this attack. It's really starting to look pretty grim for Ace here. He needs to do some damage, and the more time that jookTo is able to stall, the better the position for him, the best the position he is going to be in. Look at just all these infestors. He already has 11 of them, and there are just lings everywhere, and he needs to be so careful. The third base now being established for jookTo at this point. For Ace. jookTo has his third already, and is now transitioning into Spire attack. And a very cautious game. Ace not willing to commit here. He knows what's on the line. Reaching the next round is what it's all about, and he needs to make sure that he has a shot. Overcommitting to this attack would harm him quite a lot. And at this point we have... I don't know. This is not going to be easier for Ace to transition out of. We have the Spire, we have a ton of drones now on 55, getting another set in there right now. jookTo at 141 supply, army supply is 78 to 76 at this point. Nice, going for the Templar illusions here. Let's see what he can actually achieve with those two. Only a few lings. A few lings are attacking them, that's basically all that happens. Yep, there they are. And plus, there has to be plus 2 weapons. Blink being researched, extended thermal lance. And how many Banelings do we actually have? Do we have any now? 96 Zerglings. Pretty passive game right now. Both of them just trying to take it easy a little bit, not really wanting to overcommit here. And at the bottom, another Stalker gets a bit too cheeky. And oh, the fourth base actually to the right side of the map between the two bases. Really interesting position for the fourth here. Would have actually expected him to expand towards the middle of the map. And he doesn't do anything like it. So the Mutalisk actually at 13 at this point. And here comes the army for jookTo. Lings and Mutalisk. This is what he resorts to. This is what he tries to do here. And ooh, suiciding a few of his Mutalisks. He needs to be really careful with them. A ton of Stalkers in the main base right now. And nice force fields. Ace is on top of this game at this point. jookTo needs to be careful here. And more Stalkers, more and more upgrades, but no upgrades for jookTo. He is just now getting the double evolution chamber really late. He's not getting into any position where he can do some damage. Ace is always ready with 187 supply. We have him now defending his third base, while jookTo is getting not only the fourth that we mentioned, but also a fifth base to the top left of the map. And once again, just droning and getting Mutalisks and more Mutalisks. At 13 now, getting additional 9. This will boost him up to 22. And both of them are now maxed out, but just the amount of resources that went into the army is so much more for Ace at this point. So jookTo has to be really careful in this game. It kind of depends on catching his opponent a little bit out of position. Going for a run by, going for some kind of counter attack and just pressuring him. But Ace will be happy just to completely tech up to get another base and then push out. He has the Templar Archive now, and I just expect Storm. Yes, there it is. Researching Storm once again. And just think about the army composition that jookTo is using once again. He's relying on Lings and Mutalisks, and both of them are very vulnerable to Storms and the two Archons, and therefore this is exactly what Ace should do right now. But once again, the Mutalisk is trying to get into position, and this time doing some damage at least to all these units, and granting vision onto the high ground for the Infestors as well. Nice position here for jookTo, making good use of the map, but oh! Even though he catches the fungal here, is he actually trying to fungal them to death? No, he's not doing it. Not just quite. And oh my god, yeah. This was quite lucky. This was really lucky. If we would have been able to get to trap those Infestors, this would have been horrible. But the army here for jookTo The force field's not doing too much damage, and he just spotted the base to the bottom right, so he could try to attack here. But we have the Mutalisk just trying to get an angle on the third base once again, which is not gonna happen. Ace is just too smart for this, but he's not able to do a lot of damage either. At the bottom we now have the fourth base for Ace as already predicted, and I guess that he should really try to take down at least the base at the bottom right, while jookTo got another expansion, and both of them are just going nuts here. I mean, we have both of them on 200 supply with a lot of minerals and gas banked up, and this is just so positional. But look at all these infestors dying, and this hurt a lot. This really hurt a lot, and wow, the Mutalisk also being demolished by all the Stalkers. That base is just blinking in. Very nice positioning. The fourth base is being attacked by a few units, but the Zerglings that he had in position were taken down by cannons and also a few of the Zealots, and this is not looking good for jookTo at this point. He's losing way too many units. The one thing that he really has going for him is this massive amount of minerals that he's banked up. He is in a bit of a problem when in regard to his gas, but that's basically the only problem that he's facing right now. Ace on 200 supply though might be able to just take down these bases, and he's moving in, he's blinking back with the Stalkers, knows how important they are here, but this base is going to fall. jookTo not even trying to defend it. But Ace, I don't know, a little bit indecisive here. He realized that his opponent has his army position at the right side, leaves only a few units over here. I'm not quite sure if they are going to be enough. And here come the Zerglings. Nice storms, beautiful storms. Could have done a lot more damage to the Zerglings though. Just making sure, preventive storms, but not doing a lot of damage. Just making sure that the Mutalisks are not getting into position. He could have killed a lot more units with these storms, but did not really focus on it. And once again, this hit and run style for jookTo, who just tries to completely... What jookTo basically tries to do here is use his superior army in regards to mobility and just pressure Ace down to his bases, and he's doing a really good job. He's just trying to go for run-bys, trying to go for attacks while he's transitioning out of the unit composition that he's using. We have him with the Greater Spire attack, we have him with the first Corruptors, so he's just trying to transition now, and so far it worked because Ace was kinda... He was in a position where he never really tried to move out. He had the better army, he had a very strong army, and jookTo was not able to face him head-on. But he didn't really have to. And now, finally, Ace slowly but steadily getting a hang on the situation with the storms and also the cannons in position. But now, is it already too late with the all of the Brood Lords being morphed? We have the attack, another one for jookTo here, doing some damage, even using storms on the drones here. Not really something that he needed to do, a lot of wasted energy at this point. But here comes the attack with a few Archons, but where are the storms, where are the High Templars? He's not storming at all, and even though the Zealots and the Cannons plus Archons do a little bit of damage, the main of this base is going to die. Everything is going to die here. All the probes are already gone, and a bit of a base trade situation is evolving here, with Ace probably in a position where he can't really win the match as soon as those Spinecrawlers pop, and they do. The Spinecrawlers are ready, doing a ton of damage here, and we have another set of Broodlords. We have Queens for Transfusers, and this is gonna be a pretty crazy ending, guys. This could go either way at this point. This could really go either way. jookTo is heading back now, trying to defend here. Another set of force fields, hallucination of Immortals being cast. And whoa, is this army going to die? Not a lot of mining going on for Ace and jookTo at this point. A little bit more for jookTo with the additional base that he has. He established another one at the bottom right. The army supply, 111 for Ace against 78 for jookTo. And is jookTo really trying to face his opponent's army head on here? He's losing the entire attack. Everything is just going to hell. And another set of units warped in at the bottom right to take down the expansion for the OGS player once more. And it's a bit weird to see that jookTo never really tried to get this base trade, because his army is just not strong enough to face his opponent head on. Nice storms taking down all of them Zerglings. And yeah, the position here is not too bad, but he doesn't have the infestors. He does not have the infestors in order to funnel the units at the bottleneck position in order to make good use of his Broodlords. Ace is just getting ahead in supply right now with 140 against 112 jookTo streaming in with everything he has, trying to take... Oh, we should focus the... is he focusing the anti-air? Yes, he is taking down all the Stalkers now. Take down the Stalkers. Oh god, I can't believe it. He's actually not trying to take down the Stalkers. Oh god. He kind of botched this. He could have... There were only 3 Stalkers left. He had a bunch of Corruptors. He could have used Corruption. But he was trying to take down his opponent's Colossi as well. Use the Corruption on the Stalkers and the Sentries. Take down the anti-air and you can clean up everything else with the Mutalisks. This will not win you the game automatically, but at least you won't have lost too many units. You will have killed everything that Ace had and have a lead in the game. And now we have Ace and jookTo with a 90 to 72 supply. A lot of a better economy for jookTo with 1000 minerals per minute against 750. But yeah, this is going to get pretty insane, especially with the unit composition that we have. Too many Zerglings, only 2 Broodlords and 2 Corruptors. He's going for the... Well, he's trying to transition into Roaches now, but this is not going to help him too much. And just look at the army for Ace here. The army supply is 55 to 26. It's just too much. And the Storms are taking down the drones, something that jookTo tried to pull here as well. The Zergling is running in here, but Arcad's morphing. I really don't see him taking this game. The drones are fighting. jookTo is dropping in supply. We have Ace now at 90, 100 supply against 30, and he is going to claim victory in game number 3 and is going to advance. This first round game in Code A is ending in favor for Ace as jookTo GG's and leaves the game. Alright guys, job well done by Ace here. After he lost the first map, he was able to get back into the series, take it with 2-1. Good job. Job well done. A couple of mistakes by jookTo in the last game, but Ace played this really, really well. So yeah, the next game is going to be Bumblebee Prime against Complexity is Hard. Former TSL player, Terran versus Zerg. Probably have a little bit of a break before we start with the next game, and well, as already mentioned, we can do a little bit of a Q&A or what you guys want to know. So if you have any questions, send me a tweet. We already had a couple of people tweeting at me. So yeah, I think something that everyone who is watching the stream right now already realized is that this is for premium users only. Basically the same scenario with last season's second stream, if I'm not mistaken. And I was actually asked if I have any information about Gundol. I actually don't. It's pretty hard to get any reliable information on the guy. But he was a mid-Masters player, and I was at the Code A qualifier when he was playing his matches. And we'll probably talk about the situation later on once again, but we can just tell you again what happened. So basically Gundol shows up at his Code A qualifier, and all of the opponents that he had to face were not present, so he got biased until he reached the final. And he only had to play 1 best of 3 in order to get this Code A spot. He was up against Sela. It was pretty funny to see that Sela was once again facing Jinro, and it was so odd because the first season when I came to Korea and watched the Code A qualifier, the same situation occurred. We had Sela up against Jinro, and this time it was Sela who was able to win the best of 3. So he advanced to the final, was facing Gundol, and lost with 1-2. He was pretty upset about it, and Gundol, being a mid-Masters player on the Korean server, he got his chance right now. He has his chance, and we'll see if this is actually going to happen. Okay, so Seeker just sent me a tweet as well, asking if I'm not going. So not only are you going to cast the second set of games, but also the first 4, man. In respect, well, thanks, man. But yeah, the first 4 games will be cast by me, and then Atosis will join me. So I will cast for quite a while today. By the way, on the screen you can just see the Code S groups. The selection was actually really funny. Naniwa in a group that he can definitely get out of. He's facing Supernova and Virus as well as Genius, and Hero picking Lenok and picking Lenok for his group, making sure that we have both the remaining Zerg players in Group B. July, Lenok, Hero, and MVP. This is actually just an insane group. It is so ridiculous. As is Basically all of them are kind of insane. Parting Marine King in one group, this is going to be so insane, especially with Parting facing 3 Terran players. So facing 3 players in his best matchup.